Hey, Moses here, and you might have heard in the last few weeks about the Rodecaster Video, a video switcher device that allows you to go from, let's say, this to this, and then maybe to this, and well, let me show you what this is. It's another angle that allows me to do some scribble, and then to this, which allows me to show you a top down, and back to this. So that's what a video switcher does, and yet it's not for me. Let me explain. So I showed you this just a bit ago. This is the ATEM Mini Pro. It is also a video switcher that it has essentially been collecting dust for quite some time. Why is that? It's because for me, video editing and video switchers are supposed to do one thing really, really well. And evidently, it's to just switch from one angle to another. What this does is it speeds up the post-editing process. It makes the video creation side of things for a content creator like me so much smoother, so much faster. You can produce a lot of content within a short period of time. Or if you're into the podcasting space like I am, it can allow you to, let's say, if you have 2 or 3 guests, you can have cameras around those guests, and you can switch between those guests with relative ease with just a push of a button. The number one reason that video switchers are not for me is because I travel relatively often. And having to carry something like this, it just doesn't cut it. I would much rather have a software-based solution, assuming that solution works well all the time, than having to carry one of this and then carry the power supply for them, carry all the other cables for each camera, have the different HDMI cables that comes with it, having to bring capture cards. If none of this makes sense, that's you're probably watching the wrong video. But for those of you that are still with me, you might be wondering, how is it then that I'm able to switch between all these different angles, right? And so in this case, you're seeing my iPad and you're still seeing me on the bottom left. And I can switch to the desktop here so you can see what I'm doing here on the desktop. I can show you the screen of my iPad now. If I zoom back up, you would know that this is the top down of the iPad, and then I can zoom into the actual screen of the iPad. I can come back to this main camera. I can zoom in just a bit more. If I had another camera, I would be able to attach to it, and it makes the setup a lot less cluttered by using a software solution. Which software am I using, to be more specific? So right now I'm using Ecamm Live. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't have any affiliation with them, and I'm totally open to other softwares that would do the same. But because I travel so often, for example, by often I mean like we are in October of 2024, and this year alone I've been in the States, of course. I was in Costa Rica, I was in Nicaragua, I was in Jamaica, I was in Honduras, I was in Italy, and it's only in this first 10, it's only been 10 months of the year, right? There's at least a couple more countries coming up. So I'm on the go quite a lot, and this software, this setup here would not work for me. That's why it doesn't work for me, because I have to bring this with me. I have to bring all the different inputs, right? All the cameras that come with it, all the cables that come with it, the different audio inputs that would have to come along. And these things are relatively heavy. They're relatively heavy. Now, I'm going to switch here to the iPad, and let's learn what this Rodecaster video really does. Now, first of all, it's $1,200, right? $1,200. It's nothing to sneeze at, and for what it does is the output is 1080. So it does take. Let me see if I can find an angle here. So if we can zoom in here, it does take 4 different inputs, 4 different HDMIs, right? And they can be in 4K. But, oh, you're actually not seeing what I'm seeing. Huh? It does take 4 different inputs, but the end result is going to be in 1080. So if I have 4 different cameras that are 4K plugged in, the end result would still be 1080. It's not the end of the world. They probably did some serious research into it. But this here, this A10 Mini Pro, it also outputs 1080. It does not output 4K, right? There are some video switchers that do 4K input and output, but this it doesn't cut it for me because one, the price point, right, $1,200, and I already have a video switcher, right? I already have a video switcher, and it is collecting dust. If I had a more sedentary lifestyle, if I had a more a place that I just show up, everything is already set, I don't need to think about anything else, it would be great. I would still rather have a 4K input and output. The Rodecaster, no, Shaper's not Rodecaster. YOLO Live Ultra. I'm probably butchering the naming convention here, but it inputs 4K and outputs 4K. I think it's about the same price, maybe $200 more. But if you're gonna be spending $1,200, you might as well, get 4K just to future-proof yourself. Right, future-proof yourself. So if we continue to see here, I have a habit of not showing you what I'm looking at. It is a great device because it combines both audio and video post-production. Oh, not post-production, but so in the case of these two, they got the microphones. The microphones are going into the Rodecaster video. You have the camera. I'm assuming that the camera is also going into the Rodecaster video, and you have this little thingy here. This is an external hard drive, and so they're recording the video, and the video is being stored in there. So it's feature packed. It's very powerful. I'm not throwing it down at all. I'm simply saying for someone in my particular use case, software based solution goes a long ways if it works all the time. So far, this Ecamm Live thing, like I said, Ecamm Live thing works really well. It's been working really well. There's a steep learning curve, but like I said, I have this main view here. I can punch in a little bit. That's the benefit of having that 4K input and 4K output, right? Because I just punched in and I'm still very clear. I can switch to this top-down view here. Now this here is, believe it or not, is my iPhone 14 Pro. And yes, it is inputting 4K input, right? And so I can still punch into this footage and it will still look crisp, right? So software-based solutions save me a lot of headache. They save me a lot unpacking, because right now when I collapse all of this, I have a phone here. I have the ZV-E10. That's the main lens here. I have the main lens, the main camera. And I'm going to make a video on the ZV-E10. I'm going to link it down below here. I have a lens attached to it. I have a microphone. The microphone plugs directly into the camera. And then I have the power for the camera. I have a dummy battery instead of an onboard battery. The battery, and then I have a cable that goes into a video capture device. And yes, that's expensive. So keep that in mind. It's about $100, right? So I have a capture card, which you have to buy, and then, but for the iPhone, which is intaking 4K for this top-down view, the iPhone, why am I just showing you my hand instead of like something more interesting? Wow, okay. The top-down is an iPhone using just an iPhone cable without a capture card, right? So for those of you that are in this space, you're like, wait, so how are you having a 4K input and output from the iPhone? Software-based solutions, look into them. So that's, I'm not punching down on the Rodecaster Video Pro or Video Pro and the Rodecaster Video or video switchers in general. Like I said, I have one. I have one because I believe that these things provide so much, they save a lot of time, and it's a very, very good solution for a sedentary type lifestyle. I just happen to not be that sedentary, and also I would prefer to have 4K input and 4K output, like the YOLO Live. Cheapest I'm banging my head against the wall to remember the name. But hopefully you get the point why the Rodecaster video is not for me and my use case. But for you, that might be a completely different story. It's actually a very good product. Even though I've never used this particular product, I am familiar with I am familiar with video switchers, and they're a very good solution. They save a lot of time. If I did not, like I said, I'm able to do all this video switching left and right, and the sky is the limit. I can add some more inputs here, and I would be just fine without using a video switcher. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. If it is for you, it is 100% for you. I have nothing against them, and yeah. I have a video coming up. I'm gonna review this camera here, the Sony ZV-E10 that I've had for quite some time. And so if you're interested in seeing that, and or if you're thinking about starting a podcast, because I give a lot of podcast advice and a lot of video podcasts, I have a 4-week intense podcast mentorship program that I essentially walk you through whether you have a podcast or you are completely brand new and you are not tech savvy and you need someone to mentor you along the way. I have a program for that, and if you're interested in that, and or a podcast mentorship, a podcast workshop, which I do every 2 weeks or so. I'm gonna drop the links down in the link below. Okay, that's my it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.